This is the meeting of the Groveland Recreation Committee. It is being audio and video taped. Present at this meeting are Mike Houghton, Dan Stewart, Doug Demias, and Pam Blackett. Am I good, Charlie?
Yeah.
Okay. So on to our community preservation project. First and foremost.
All right, cool, so where are we at? So what I'd like to do is, Dan and I, put together the specifications for the, to submit. So there's, I didn't have a chance to take these together.
So this was the direction after the town meeting, the October 26th town meeting.
Yep,
We met with Denise after the town approved the 217,000, I believe it was. And she said to put a spec together, so Michael and I have been working with local contractors and getting their, certain things and estimates, and Michael's done a great job putting this all together. I've done a little bit, he's done a lot of it, so thank you, Mike, I
oh,
appreciate
sure,
that.
yeah, absolutely.
And I want to thank you for the great job you did at town meeting too.
Yes.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
That's your last thank you tonight.
Okay, I'm on. All right, so what I did is I broke this down into a couple of sections, as you can see, so, and it's not in order of how things would be done. So, grading and finishing the softball field, the well, sprinkler system for the fields, not just the softball field, but the utility field, the tennis courts, and the trees. So that's kind of the different breakouts. And what I wanted to make sure we did is that we were, and I would love everyone's input tonight on, is I want to make sure that we're clear enough on these specifications, so when Denise gets them, she has a boilerplate she can put them into. What she told me was she would then put them out to bid, and depending on the size estimates, so I have to give her estimates on pricing of these, which I will do, it depends on the type of bid they have to go out to, but at a minimum, it most likely will all be lowest bid on these, because that's pretty much municipal standard.
Yeah,
But I wanna make sure that we're thorough enough in these so that we don't have someone coming in on a low bid, because remember, if it's low bid, they're gonna try to find the corners to cut. We wanna make sure that we get the work done correctly. So what I try to do with things like, if you look at, provide install double stanchion pitching rubber and stanchion home plate, rather than just a, like the one we used to have ages ago down there, that when you drove it with spikes and every time you went down, you had to redrive it.
and it's just a permanent plate and a permanent mount, is all you're talking about.
Right, but with stanchions, so the stanchions are, they're pillars, so you sink a plate in the ground, and then this thing slides over it.
Oh, so we can pull it out for the winter,
Right.
which I haven't done for the bases yet.
And they also won't slide around, like, the pitching rubber, if you use those ones with just the spikes in the end,
Yeah,
those come loose as the girls, walk off.
right now we have this square piece that sinks way down in the ground, so if you hit it with the rubber, if it rains, hit it with the machine, or if it rains, it kinda does move around.
Right, this one
So-
should be a little different.
With that in mind,
Yeah.
I meant to send this to you with Molten Irrigation's development. Their engineer said for the softball field,
Yeah.
here's that football field,
Okay, great,
here's our current softball field here.
yeah,
Originally, the home plate was here,
yeah,
I flipped it to here.
right,
They, meaning the sprinkler company,
yeah,
because she did the measurements,
right,
that has to go this way. It does two things, it gives us the 200 feet we need,
yeah,
and it keeps the sun on a side view instead of straight on. So when I had it here,
yeah,
the fence would have gone through the drainage ditch that
okay.
is there. So
Can't do.
she shifted it. So now the field, which is fine, because backstop, and the backstop will be on the back of the soccer field, but it won't be way out here in the corner.
Okay,
So that's
Yeah.
Molten Irrigation. So that's they took the town 2013 civil design
yeah,
and figured on this. The well will be somewhere around here, I don't know, but it's already been located at one point in the last 4 years, so it's gonna be within 20 feet of,
well, looks like they drew here. That's what they're
that's
drawing.
existing,
Oh, that's the existing,
that's the existing.
okay,
So what the goal is to take this sprinkler system and it
Yeah.
feeds the baseball field,
right,
town hall, and all the things up here, and the new well will feed the current softball field, the new softball field, and the football/lacrosse utility field. That is the design for Molten Irrigation.
okay,
So, if Denise needs explanation on that for getting bids, I could certainly send her a copy of this.
okay, all right,
Which
cool.
maybe I'll just
Do
do.
you have this in electronic format?
I do, what is the date that he sent it to me? and I'll forward it to you
Yeah,
tomorrow. I
okay.
thought I had forwarded it to November 2nd, so I'll look at my email
You know,
tomorrow.
it might be on that document that you sent me, I might not, yeah, cause that's the document you sent me, maybe this was on the second page, I didn't see it,
But I'll send it to all of you,
yeah.
so you understand the flipping, and you, these little dots are the
For the
heads.
heads, right, so. it's
So,
big, yeah.
and I'll forward that to Denise as well.
Okay.
So she's a copy and you guys all have a copy, so sorry to interrupt, I just
No, no, that's all right.
that was
that's
an
okay.
addendum that came up with the irrigation company, so they've done a lot of preliminary work free of charge.
Okay, cool, that's great. So, you know, you see the grade in the field, I wanna make sure we put in a level of depth, and Dan talked to one of the contractors,
Prescription turf,
they
yes.
talked about, you know, the depth, 4 inches, so I put that in, make sure it's laser graded, so that we're not gonna have dips and divots in it. And then the infield mix is, it looks like that's a pretty industry standard infield mix, if you do some, you know, digging online, you can see that one comes up a lot. And then we call out for the type of grass and fertilization for the starting of that field. So that's what I did for the specs in that one. The well's a little tougher, because of course the well's all driven by where's the water,
If
right?
we can find the water.
Exactly, so, you know, we put in an estimate of the well depth, put in that what we wanted to make sure we had for a pumping capability so that there was enough water getting to the fields. And in talking to the high school, when I talked to them, they had said, you know, you wanna make sure you're at least 45 pounds, if not 50 gallons per minute, or else you're gonna end up with, you know, your sprinklers are just trickling out.
Yeah,
You know, or
correct.
you have to do so many different zones that it gets cost prohibitive that way. And so I called out the ones out of there that, you know, we've contained the elements of that. Now, the depth's gonna depend on how big the pump needs to be, the further it goes, bigger the pump to get it vertical, you know, up out of the ground. So, you know, that'll depend, if they hit good enough water with enough gallons per minute flow at 100 feet, then it can be a small pump, but I wanted to put in pump specifications for if it was
The worst
running out.
possible.
Right, exactly. Sprinkler, we called out the zones that we had discussed, the number of heads, and wanted to call out at least a brand head that's pretty popular brand wise. And the Hunter I-25 is a commercial grade sprinkler head, so it's not a, you know, homeowner's variety. And then make sure that the piping was run to the fields as well, so it's not gonna be great to get a well in, we got sprinklers in, and now we gotta, you know, we don't have a bid for connecting them, so
Yeah,
make sure that was.
Gary will do that, or whoever gets the irrigation, that's part of it.
Okay. And then for the tennis courts, you can see that one's pretty thorough as far as, you know, calling out, so, you know, Pam, this will be a lot more familiar with you on it, but in talking to a couple contractors, they mentioned that, you know, the black fencing is better than galvanized fencing as far as visibility and everything. And for endurance too, they said actually hold up better than galvanized gold. So that's in the specifications, and that was within the initial, you know, amount that we had looked at for going to the town to start with. So hopefully the bidding will come in with that being, and still be that case. And this was also, as you can see, that was to get a top coat of the material with some pigmentation so we can get it, you know, last a long time. So I tried to call as much stuff on there as I could with, you know, that one to lay that one out. And then the trees, I called out, you know, what we had originally talked about, so we wanted to get, you know, 2 maples that would have some good fall color, and 1 magnolia that would give an off-season color.
That'd be nice.
Would be nice. All 3 trees would also get, you know, pretty big, especially the maples. And then some evergreens, we can decide, you know, whatever we wanna do in the evergreens. I mean, the one they talked about was, a thinner, like a very fine evergreen, so not your standard white pine, so that it would keep ground contact all the way down, but that sits down a bit off the road, so if they would die off going up in height, it probably wouldn't be a showstopper, because,
Right.
you know, you sound like you're gonna be looking straight at the field coming in. So I try to, you know, lay all that out as well, so, you know, take a peek, and if you see stuff in there, you think, oh, well, we wanna make sure we have this and that. You know, one thing that, and, I had run to Elise and talked to her about it a little bit, she's like, should we include things like, you know, putting in pads for the dugouts? You know, do we wanna make sure we have that in there?
Yeah, I'd see the fencing this is for the tennis courts, we need the fencing for the softball field, which I thought was on there.
Actually, that was a separate element.
Yeah, because
You're right, thank you, I need to add the fencing.
so we get, before we could add that, and here's the cost of $19,500, install a new softball field to match existing field.
Yep.
And it includes dugout areas, it doesn't include dugouts, so it'll be the dugout will be fenced with a tall fence just
Yeah.
to start. And obviously, over time, we'll have to build dugouts for volunteerism, you know, unless,
Have you been down there lately?
yeah,
Do you see the new pad?
the new pad
Yeah, over towards the gazebo.
towards the one.
or you think?
I don't know if
bathrooms?
it's the bathrooms or not, there's a pad with.
Oh, yeah, they've been doing a lot of work, there's
Oh, is
lights,
that where the bathrooms were? I don't
Correct.
think that's where they were scheduled to be,
I don't know if that's what it's gonna be, looking at the drawing.
Right.
On the same side as the,
the gazebo. There's-
yeah, that's what
Right
they're
next to the
yeah.
zero.
Yeah, that is what they're
Um,
going
The lights should already be up, they were supposed to be,
They're
but
not on.
they're not,
I-
they're not up
I-
either.
They're not up either.
So that was something that was just to be on, just to, you know, with people down there at night, the
Yeah.
football.
Well, they're still running their own private,
Right.
Yeah, but these are
Every
lights,
time I drive by, they're
these
on.
lights
Well,
are
like-
Pretty cool to see, yeah.
These-
yeah.
We have to go back for the lights in the spring, well,
for
next
the
month.
field, for the ball field.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for the actual safety lights for the
Right.
parking lot, those are all not wired, but they're two, conduits run.
Okay.
They were supposed to be in, they're not in yet, you know, I'm not gonna ask why or anything, but
No.
they should be in, and hopefully by winter time. Cause I think they come on every night automatically. I believe that's the lights that they got.
The football does have lights in their field.
Yeah, they have diesel construction lights.
Yeah, they're using that a lot.
Yeah, pretty cool. I did drop a book off at the library Friday, so I was up in the town.
Oh, you saw it,
Yeah.
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 Pretty cool to see them all, the kids down there playing, it was great
Yeah.
to see.
So when we went for lights next year, it's for both fields, right? It's just-
Actually, we have to start working on that right away too,
Okay.
because that's to the end of the month.
End of November, end of December.
It's, I think the very beginning of December, I meant to check the dates too, and I didn't.
So we need to see how much, with the money we have available, how many things we
No,
can accomplish.
this is a separate bid.
No, I know what I'm saying,
Okay.
let's see how much, we can, off this list, we can check off, and then
Keep it
get a
right,
separate
okay.
bid for, because I mean,
I
depending on what the
couldn't
goals
figure out,
are,
so you give me another
maybe
one.
you don't do the tennis courts because you don't have enough money or something like that, I mean, who knows?
Yeah, so
That
if you,
bid is mean.
No, I'm just, you know, well, my
So-
trees have to wait a year, I mean, I don't know.
oh, yeah, that's fine. So with the fencing, right, adding that, the well's the big variable, right? Cause the further down the wells to go, the more money it is, and the
And that's-
further it goes,
you don't know
the
until-
more money it is for the pump, right? So I talked to Denise about what the process is. So once I submitted the specifications, which I told her I would on Thursday, cause now I'll close tomorrow, is that, she has to go out to bid on these, and it's a minimum of 2 weeks, no matter what process it is, and it will be, most likely be the lowest bid, as I mentioned. But, she said we should not go out to bid on any of these that can't be done before winter. So what I talked to her about, well, if we, let's say we go through the process and it's 2 weeks, so let's say we submit on Thursday, she gets them posted by end of next week, let's say, right? Let's hope it's early, but whatever. Then you're looking at early December before your 2 week period would be up, and then you gotta pick the lowest bidder.
Are you involved in that?
I asked about that, she said we just have to pick the lowest bid. So, but yeah, I would like to, because I'd like to review them, so if we have questions,
Yeah.
once people submit, we should be able to ask questions, having been
Right.
through that process before. We should be able to ask questions of the bidders to get clarification.
The biggest problem about starting in December, you throw that perennial ryegrass mix down.
Oh,
It's
So
dead.
no
Yes.
seating.
Here's my thinking,
Yeah, no seed until spring.
so my thinking on that is we try to get the well done in the fall, this winter, before the ground freezes, and that should be doable, because the ground isn't frozen yet, right?
Not even
Right.
close,
Right. So, but I don't think we should really touch the field until the spring, because
I agree.
if we grade it and we have a very wet winter or
Which
anything.
Most
we're gonna-
likely gonna happen in
It'll
January.
all wash out.
Yeah, it'll be a mess.
Right, and if we try to put topsoil, then we'll see it wash into the river, right? It wouldn't
Yeah,
be worth
it'll
it.
be a disaster.
So I think we have to do the well, and you can't do the irrigation until the field's finished, right? So, because they have to put it in
Yeah,
when it's graded.
they grade it and then they bury the pipes, and then once the pipes are buried, they, you know,
They'll
seed
smooth
it and
seed
compact it, and then it's done.
Right,
You know, the fence company come in at any time after that they want, just as long as
So
it's.
really, we're just looking at the well for the
Yeah.
fall.
so, looking at rough estimates on pricing with everything, and my apologies for forgetting the fencing on this section, that's gonna put us over budget, unless the well comes in that we get water earlier. So, one thing I was thinking was, we can't possibly use that current well to do all the fields, right?
No,
Okay,
it's maxed out.
it is, okay.
Yeah, that's why he wants to take off the current softball field and just run the baseball in town hall.
What do you mean town hall?
That pump
Off the,
runs town
the
hall.
existing
That's
well.
a town hall?
Police station, fire
Yeah,
station, library,
yeah.
town hall,
There's
No idea.
all the way up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's a lot of strain on that thing,
Sure,
it has to
yeah.
run for 18 hours, I think Gary Moulton said. And
Holy cow.
it would be a lot smarter to have that one pump hit those 3 fields and that one hit the other stuff.
I just figured there was one up there.
And it'll take a lot of stress off of that pump.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, no, I completely understand. Okay, so,
there is a way to hook up together, so if one fails, one can run the whole thing. So that I thought was pretty neat, but we don't have to go there, that's just something
that's something that could be done. on-
could be done, if we have an emergency problem, we could switch to the other pump.
Okay, that's outside of the realm of this.
Yeah,
So-
it's totally outside.
So we need to do the well first, because the well's gonna dictate what else can be done,
What's,
To
yeah,
finish.
how much money's left?
right? Because if we come in under that, great, then we're okay, we should be able to fit everything in. If it's a low end, if it's 100 feet, and you can use the smaller pump, then we should be within realm. But if it's all the way down where he thinks it might have to go, then
Right.
we're gonna be tight on
Okay,
getting
so a
everything done.
guesstimate on, worst case scenario, what are we gonna be short?
About 15,000,
About 15?
For everything on this list.
right?
And so it'd be 15K potentially, and then lights for the 2 fields, is that the
Right.
only thing left on the list?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so that we'll have to write it so that we're including, you know,
The potential.
the potential, yeah.
Well, we would know, right, cause you're gonna, when's the,
It's gonna be close to
really?
knowing, yeah.
Yeah.
The
And-
dates are gonna be close.
and that money would free up in early next year, right? For phase 2,
Right,
the CPC money will come through
we're
next.
still, yeah, as of July 1st.
Okay.
Okay,
So, let me get the fencing part written up. If you guys think of anything else you want me to add, let me know, because it's, gonna be Thursday, I got to see her. And then we'll get the bidding out, we'll get the bidding out for the well, we'll get the bidding out for,
Irrigation? You don't even need that.
we don't need it right now, I guess,
Just go
because we
to the
can't do
well.
anything to spring the well.
just the well.
As well, we have to go through, we've laid out all the specs, we're going really well for the well, I think, because of time.
And then
And
will
then-
you know pricing on the boat ramp, cause that comes out of this bucket as well.
No,
That was.
So it's 360 total, right?
It was 360 total, but 143 was set aside for the boat.
Okay, so that no matter what, if he overruns, that's
That's a
still
separate
okay.
element of the total,
Alright.
was my
as
understanding.
far as I'm concerned, that's
That's
how
how
it
it
is divided.
That's how it was
Oh, I
discussed.
thought it was just
So
one bucket,
we're granted a total of
Well, it's just
217,000,
one warrant
right?
article, but I
but 2
believe
separate, okay.
2 separate items.
And, the tennis courts was like 83?
Now that's about 75. So, yeah, because right now we're about 15 over with, if you go to the high end of the well side. If you go low end of the well side, we're about 5 over. But, you don't know, we could get other bidders that come in less than what we've gotten estimates on so far.
Right.
Because it is lowest bid, so.
Right.
Oh, prescription check, well done. What are we using that, 68.5?
Correct. Yeah, I can send the figures, I have to include it for her for this anyways.
Okay.
So then what I'll do is, once we get the bidding back, then I'll put together a project timeline, so we can at least all, know what we're looking at, the timing, because we'll wanna go out to bid in like February,
Yeah,
so that we have,
Soon
we're lined up,
as
if we have an
it's-
early spring,
Yeah.
we get the green light, we go. We
right,
get the contractor all lined up, because we'll wanna get on that schedule as well.
yeah, sooner the better.
So, yeah, she said, you don't wanna go less than 90, so maybe go out early February, like the
Yeah.
first week of February after bid, so we get them back in time,
Yeah,
and then we'll be good to go for the spring. So you, of course, we'll be able to use the field in the spring, but hopefully by the fall. you could-
Yeah, I already assumed that. So I came up with 215.5, did I miss something?
So what you're forgetting is, so this part of it, on the well,
Yeah.
that did not include the pump.
Oh, it didn't include the pump, and the pump is how much?
Between 11 and 15, I believe it is. It's kind of a weirdly worded document on that,
Yeah,
but yeah, I did the same thing you did originally, thinking this was the total figure, but if you read it carefully, it's not.
I'm gonna talk to Mr. Rollins about that. Make sure sure that we're all on the same page there.
Yep.
I'll call him tomorrow.
Okay, all right, cool.
I just want, I thought everything was included, so that makes it 230,500,
As an estimate.
as an estimate, excluding getting, 3 alternate bids.
Did you put the, the trees in there?
Oh, I did not,
That's the $3,000.
so trees, so 23,
So we need another 20 grand possibly.
Yeah.
we're not cutting out tennis courts to get there.
Thank you. Someday I'd like to leave this committee.
If you're leaving, if you get tennis courts, then the tennis courts are out, but if you promise to stay, we'll do the tennis courts.
Yeah, we can't have any more people leaving.
Yeah, well, the tennis, I think the tennis courts would be great, because then you're introducing to a whole different level, it doesn't require big teams to play. So, we got the youths covered with the fields,
Yeah.
we got some adults covered with playing, softball and flag football and anything like that.
Yeah.
But if 2 people wanna go down, 4 people wanna go down, you can split up to 8, ready to play doubles on the tennis courts.
Right,
You-
and I
you
think the
allow
more
that to
people we
play
get down there, the safer the whole area. is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, needs
Absolutely.
activity, yeah.
Yeah.
So I really wanna try to get those to work into our total number figures, because I think, and it's a sweet spot where it is, you're coming down the driveway, bang, the tennis courts are right there, you'll be crossing the basketball courts, I think it'll look really nice laid out that way.
Well, it'll bring a lot of, like you said, a lot of different age groups, which is what it should be.
Yeah, it's right
And
next
if
to
you
the
do
playground,
something-
so.
If you could
parents
actually
can
add to
play.
that down the road too, because you can have that space up near the road,
Right,
potentially develop that down the road for the little kids.
Yep.
And you have tons of people down there.
And maybe we could do something with the basketball courts in the spring too, they need new nets and, the bent hoops, so the kids come over and jump on them and break them. The police came down when I was cleaning them and says, if you come to the police association, we might be able to get you money to fix this up a little bit. So there's ways to do it, but it's just sad to have those sit there
yeah,
and all broken with,
I
no
agree.
nets and they're all bent and,
Speaking of that, I never got a bill for food one day from them yet.
from who?
Oh.
Police.
okay.
They like you.
Not enough to let us have one cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. All right, cool.
Okay, so,
Thanks, guys.
and I will contact the light department tomorrow, and have them get out and take a look.
All right, so you can get
So we
started
will
on
have
that.
an idea what we need to ask for
Yeah,
For the next phase, okay,
for
yeah.
the next.
Yeah, 'cause they can
Because
walk
that's
right
gonna be
in there.
submitted now.
Yeah, they
okay,
can
so
sit.
then I can write, using the same boilerplate we used before.
Right. Just thinking, we're not really gonna know. I mean, it's gonna be what, 3 more weeks before we know,
Yeah,
at the earliest,
right.
where we stand.
Right,
And even then, we're not, because we're not gonna quote everything else out till next
We can't.
February anyways.
right, so we're gonna be purely guessing.
Well, I guess, yeah, and then,
So we're gonna
Always
put them
give back
higher,
what we
but I mean,
use.
the goal is to certainly come in low as we can, right? So
yeah,
Yeah,
and what we don't use.
Right.
we don't use, period, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
right, either way, we just don't, we
Yeah.
leave it there.
I mean, it's
And I
clear,
think they'll understand that.
yeah, I think the message from the selectmen down was, let's get this whole project done, not
Right.
half of it, let's get the whole thing done, so.
And I know CPC will be fine with this.
We're really just finishing the project that was proposed that you, as the Pines Committee voted on, so.
Yep.
And they were still talking of reestablishing a Pines Committee.
I think that would be a very intelligent idea.
Yeah, cause you still wanna maintain the whole system
Right.
once it's done.
Maintain it.
Yeah, because the funding
And
is set
government
aside
funding, too.
Government funding.
for the
and
maintenance of it, and that's important.
Make sure that everything is being done that should be done,
Like, there's someone overseeing it.
yeah, not just one
Yeah.
or 2 people.
I agree, it's something to look into down the road.
Okay. Should
And
we
then do
go
we
to
know on the
that?
bathrooms, what the status of that is?
There, it looks like there's cement.
So,
There's cement on the ground.
I mean, I think that's a key thing needed down there. The
Yeah,
porta
it is,
potties
yeah.
are just gonna lead to complaints
Right.
if that's what we have next year.
I just want to know who's cleaning them.
I know that it's gotta be
That
discussed.
has not been
That's
discussed.
the beauty of a porta potty.
That
they-
has not
they-
been discussed.
No,
How was soccer gonna do it? They were gonna do their own volunteers,
Yeah.
gonna do it?
That's what Steve
yeah,
said,
that's what we'll have to do, is the rec committee will appoint people and coaches, Doug will
Appoint people.
appoint people.
Oh, boy, people. Yeah.
Doug, you got toilet duty this week. No, you do.
Alright.
Okay, so we're going to basketball. I'll give you what little I know.
Okay,
because Elise does know more. We put together equipment, of course, there was equipment that didn't come back from last year.
How shocking.
So we did that last Tuesday. So down we went to Team Outfitters, and $700 later, we think we're ready to go.
You're talking like actual basketballs, right?
Yeah.
They're so much cheaper online, but if you don't
But we were
go-
in a crunch
I
too.
know.
We were in a crunch at that
Have
point.
they already started? They're close.
Yes, they could have started today.
Okay, so Groveland Rec basketball has begun.
There are, let me see how many teams. Grade 3 and 4 girls, there's 3 teams of 10. 3 and 4 boys, there's 3 teams of 11.
That's excellent.
5 and 6 girls, there's 2 teams of 9. 5 and 6 boys, there's 4 teams of 8 or 9.
Wow.
They're still accepting players, he will still add players to team, but he's not allowing these coaches anymore trades or changes or anything else.
Okay, which makes sense.
So that is done.
And Steve is running that.
Right, and there really wasn't, we weren't sure what was gonna happen, we made them buy their own jerseys.
Right.
There really wasn't too much, only a couple squawked on it.
I think some of the sports are doing this. I think people have already done it once or twice, and they're used to it.
Mhm.
Yep, same refs as last year. He sent out rules to all of the coaches, there's rules for all of the kids, we get rules everywhere. So,
That's good.
we're ready to start.
Oh, great.
I think the games begin the first week in December. Okay, that's what I know on basketball.
And now we don't know for next year on the fees, right? That's
We
still to
do
be
not
decided.
have a clue on the fees.
Did you see they changed the draft of the proposal?
Yeah, I saw Mulqueen's, Superintendent Mulqueen's change, but it's still not in stone. They're gonna vote on it still, or
Yeah, but it looks like
level 1 pays nothing?
yeah, we're in that. We're kind of back to where we were prior to them putting this together, where we'll be paying on Saturdays only.
Okay. And as we're getting an increase in the janitor fee.
But I think only from 30 to 35.
Yeah, small
We
fee.
can live with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't be paying $100 per hour for week time use of the gym, so.
And can we still stay in as late as we were? Because that was an issue
9
too.
o'clock.
Well, there's no time on the.
Well, the middle school's 9 o'clock, so I just assumed back now was the same.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, we're out before because the younger kids here.
Yeah,
They tend to stay later.
5th, 6th graders don't wanna be at the gym at 9:30 at
Or
night.
the little kids you hear from the
Right.
parents.
And plus we're paying a custodian 4 hours, that makes brings you to 9:30 from 5:30.
Yeah, so technically we could stay till 9:30, but we don't.
So I think we'll be good for next year too.
Great.
Oh, we wouldn't be paying on the weekend, am I?
I saw
Yes, we got it, you said, on the
the
weekdays.
article from the West Newbury meeting, where they had said, they didn't like the changes that were made.
Oh, they
They're
push
pretty
it.
harsh.
Oh, they
on it,
were
yeah.
good.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
good.
they actually had the police chief draw up how many hours they spend patrolling the school just to see.
Oh,
They
really?
couldn't
Yeah.
pass that cost on, but they
Right.
wanted to know how much time they
Well, sure you do.
spend. So yeah, they were upset. The selectmen here, I mean, Dan McDonald asked me some questions. I gave him some spreadsheets. I mean, they definitely were looking into it. But I think they finally made the right decision. So, we'll pay our fees
Right.
for Saturdays, and we don't use it on Sundays.
No. The men were using it on Sundays, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they're coming back. Because
Oh, yeah.
actually, when Jim Day was contemplating
Yeah.
coming on the rec committee, he was gonna bring the team.
So he's thinking of getting rid of the league, the men's league?
It's not feasible.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Well, I
feasible.
think under the new, well, maybe not. He's still not he's not in the same tier he is.
Right.
What if we put together the program and ran it?
Yeah,
and-
and
and
that's why I was
For
hoping
all
he would still
Groveland
come on.
residents,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. What, come on the rec committee?
Yeah, that's why I was hoping Jim hadn't changed his mind about coming on.
He was on for like 30 seconds. The shortest lived member ever.
I'll ask him if we can maybe discuss that
Sure,
study.
yeah,
If he
definitely.
had enough interest, I know he did
Yeah.
when he first started. I don't know how it went recently.
No. I don't know that, between insurance and stuff, that's where they hit the snag, is insurance.
I mean, I don't know. We do so many programs for
I
the
think we know an
kids.
insurance guy, so we might be able to ask.
Yeah, we can handle that, I'm not worried.
Probably not that much.
Shoot.
We do so many programs for the kids, but if we could continue
I
or
think
create some
insurance.
stuff for adults.
Oh, for
that would be good
basketball?
too.
It should renew, Billy should have the renewal all ready to go.
I haven't heard from it, but I meant to email
It
him
might be a 12/1.
before I went away.
It might be a 12/1 renewal,
Okay.
so it might be enforced till 12. I never got a copy of it, I wanted to get a copy from him, but he's probably in the rest of the week, so.
Okay. So that's what I know on that. What would you like to tell us about softball?
I don't know. First of all, congratulations to Doug Demers being appointed as a newest Groveland Recreation Committee member.
Did they
Doug's,
make you go?
Did they what?
Did they make you go to the meeting?
No, I was
He's
actually
away.
away. I was
you
away.
swearing with Ann Brody? Yeah. So that's huge, that's a very big part. Doug's helped me out a ton with youth softball. We really haven't done anything because we've been working on all the other
I
stuff.
know.
I am probably going to be assistant varsity coach next year, and also coaching the 7th, 8th grade team with Doug, and we'll be running sign-ups and we'll be running clinics all winter, starting when? March?
Yeah, we get gym time first week in March.
So we got like 6 weeks in the gym for, are we just going 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, or are we going 3rd?
No, I talked to some of the younger coaches, like
And they wanna do it?
Bethany will do it with the younger kids.
Good.
The thing is, the more the more times they're playing catch and indoors, you tend to work more on the fundamentals.
Right.
And once you get to the field, you kind of like
Trying to put it together.
So
Yeah.
the kids, especially the like 3rd and 4th graders, the ball is soft enough. There's no fear in them getting hit with it.
Right.
So indoors, they develop a lot of good skills. So we're gonna have younger kids come in. What we need to work on is pitching.
Yeah,
We need
pitching's
to
huge.
develop more
Pitching and
skills.
catching, huge. But, and that's why we're gonna do the indoors,
Yeah, we have 2 different days set aside, one for skills and drills and one for pitches. So
Oh, great.
we'll do that. We'll see how it goes this year.
We guys have help on the pitching. I know it's really, that's a real skill to be able to teach that.
Doug has been working with a woman called Megan Biddle, her name's Megan Biddle, she's an Merrimack College pitching, used to be a pitching coach. But the girls are pitching with her now, right?
That's over now.
But
Some
she-
have signed up for her winter sessions. We did that. 5 girls from our town went to her private,
cool.
so that was good. But it's expensive.
So she may come in and do a couple lessons for a small fee at the Bagnell. High school girls will be helping out for all 3 levels, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, so that's very important. Other than that, we'll be using the field that's there come springtime, and batting cage is still fine, and I think they're gonna be hydro seeding in the spring, so that whole area that's all dirt now should be, it might already have been done, I haven't seen it in a while. So that infield area with the batting cages should be all nice, so we'll have plenty of room until the new field's built, and I believe the JV team will be using the current softball field, cause there is no other field.
Right.
I don't believe there'll be a freshman team, there may be, so we'll be going on after the JV gets off the field all spring, right? And that's kind of women's softball and intertown.
Tight squeeze, getting a second field is going to be a huge help.
Yeah, I know.
It is, yeah, it's a big strain on the current field and scheduling and game scheduling, and to have 2 fields is gonna be unbelievable. And I think it'll pique the interest, because we've dropped the numbers by about 15 over the last 2 years, 15 each year. We were at about 95, then it went to like 79, now we're like 50, 65 last year, so we need to start building the numbers back up,
Mhm.
and the facility's definitely gonna help that.
Okay.
And we can talk about equipment and uniforms and teams once we know how many kids have signed up, because the current shed is full of old stuff, and we gotta get rid of some and hopefully build some shelves, and I don't know if we're gonna be kicked
Yeah,
out.
we're gonna have to take a look at stuff and look at fees again.
Yeah,
Come spring.
I know we
Or
raised
sign
some,
before sign.
Come before sign-ups,
Yeah.
we're gonna look at fees again.
yeah,
We just increased them last year, right?
yes.
We did.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to do like a survey of other towns and see. You know, we don't wanna go above them, but
Right.
Is there any way we can start, collecting money for advertising and putting signs up? Is that something we can do? Cause if $250 a sign, that's
I know, but that,
something we gotta run through the town.
yeah, because they're not getting the money.
I mean, maybe we can give them the money. But, you know, I don't know. But right now, the signs are fading down there, nobody's
Right.
paid.
Right,
Right,
Right, that's
but we
right.
also have to look at, we've got our expenses once this is done.
right.
Yeah,
Cause we gotta build dugouts, we gotta get bleachers, you
Yeah.
know, we have expenses we haven't looked at that's gonna come from us.
we may need a separate equipment shed, because we're gonna kids
Right.
out of that shed.
Right,
So, that's why we haven't built shelves or anything in there.
right, so that, you know, we have expenses coming up that
Yeah.
we really haven't budgeted for.
So maybe when we, talk about this
Mm.
for the lights, maybe you should chuck in the dugouts. You know, maybe we should have a separate equipment shed that's actually more over to that side of the field. They would have to handle the tractor and the dragger and the pitch.
Now, do we have room without going in the buffer zone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some hidden room in there. Yeah. I mean, you could even go to the left field side of the softball field and put it there. The only problem
Okay.
there is people can come over that hill and in the darkness break in, so we wanna find a lighted area to put it in.
Yeah,
Or we may just keep the current cement structure, eventually that was gonna be a snack shack, but I don't think that's gonna be happening. I haven't heard about it happening, so,
No.
No, cause
so I think for the
it's
next,
also hard to get somebody to run a snack shack.
oh,
And go out to bid, you really,
no, it's brutal,
you don't make anything
Yeah.
really on it.
yeah.
no. So hopefully we just stay in there for the first couple of years and eventually we'll probably need our own place to put everything. That's softball.
That's all, okay, you better get into business.
Maybe an after business on a plate.
Yes.
You certainly do.
New
You
business.
certainly do. Okay, so, I'm gonna find out from Mike on the lighting,
Okay, great.
give us a quote.
Yeah.
So we would like to include the pads for the dugouts at least in a bid.
Yep.
So that would have to be in the new bid, cause we can't
Mhm.
afford it in
No,
the
we
existing one.
definitely can't.
And what else are we putting in there? We putting the dugouts themselves.
Probably should, I mean, that's heavy infrastructure that we don't.
What do you think of doing? Not like the ones currently.
Probably chain link fence with a roof,
Right.
you know, so it won't be super expensive.
Should be expensive.
If you go to the high school or the middle school brand new field, it's like that, but with a roof on
With
it.
the roof, yeah.
'Cause
Yeah, 'cause they don't have a roof on it.
Yeah, they sit there and bake in the sun and,
Yeah.
you know, if it's sprinkling out, everything gets soaking wet, so,
Right,
you know, we can design something like that.
And that helps the fans too, because what we have now.
They can't see through the
Yeah,
wood. Yeah,
it's
so if a kid's running down first base and someone's on the, you know, that right field side, they can't see the kid reach, or they can't see the outfield, they
fly
catch the ball, yeah.
right.
So,
So just the roof would be good.
just a roof with chain link fence.
Okay.
And then we can do a scoreboard, we can worry about those things down the road.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the ambulance company donated that school board anyways, I'm not positive on
I
that.
believe
Trinity did, so, I think they did the baseball field one too, so, that reminds me that I gotta get that remote control sent in, cause it doesn't work very good for the sign.
For baseball or for us?
Well, the baseball one's at the police station, that hasn't been touched, the baseball doesn't use it, I don't think they know how to use it, but the softball one is still in the shed.
Touchy, yeah.
But it got hit by a softball, so it hasn't worked properly since, so
Oh,
we
really?
may need a whole new one. Yeah, it was on the ground, a foul ball hit it perfect,
Of course.
and we duct taped it and it was worked fine, but it's time for a new one. So I think you send that unit back, they match the frequency up to the sign we have, and give us
Yeah.
they might just send us a whole new one, I think that's what they're gonna do. So that'll be a couple $100. Other than that, everything else is working down there, I mean. You think of anything?
No, I mean, I think that covers it.
Just need a nice winter this year so we can start in March.
Plus another, let's say, 50,000,
Yeah, so I just made a note for that too, the overage. We'll definitely know after we do the will.
But in any case, we could have this ready to go depending on,
Yeah.
yes, you know, you might be Thursday, but Denise might be a week from Thursday.
Right, maybe she's doing an audit or something,
Yeah.
she's sitting down there.
When does the CPC vote on the phase two money?
We will be reviewing them. I mean, I don't see a problem getting this past CPC.
No, I'm just thinking if
And it's
money
a town
wise.
meeting in the spring already.
But we have to be ready for like, to meet with finance and selectmen on CPC projects,
Right,
late January, early February.
Okay,
okay, by then we know for sure
yeah, we definitely.
costs.
Right,
Yeah,
and by town meeting, we could certainly revise it, we could revise the number on town meeting
Right.
floor.
Yeah, alright.
okay. So yeah, once you get
We
this
can
stuff,
only,
let me know.
right, we can only revise it down,
Down.
we can't
Yeah,
revise
so
up.
let's make sure we got enough to cover and you can
Right.
always pull back.
So yes, I will,
Yeah, once
email
you
him.
get that, let me know, and then we can put together the language.
Yes, and maybe he wants, going to wanna talk to somebody else about what they really want for lighting on that multi-purpose field.
Yeah, who runs the football?
Well, that's the thing, that's why there's still a lot of discussions needed. It's multi-purpose, several groups can use it, who wants to use it, how's that gonna work, is there, who divvies out the time, who's gonna pay for the lights? So there's still a lot of discussions needed.
Right,
As
yeah,
we
this
move
floor
forward.
is putting the light structure in, so
Yeah.
it'll just be a matter of understanding how to best do that,
And
but,
getting the word out to all the groups that it's available.
Right. I have no idea who runs football, none.
And they're the only ones currently using it, right?
Right, I don't know where lacrosse is going.
Lacrosse has been at the high school,
that front field
the
of the high
front
school.
Yeah.
field.
Even the youth programs are there?
The youth programs, I think, go to Pipe Stage,
Somebody's using the front field Sunday mornings.
yeah, that's been me and the Powder Puff Girls.
Oh, yes, oh, okay.
Yeah, I coached in the senior girls Powder Puff team, so I couldn't refuse that one. So that's, that, yeah, we've been using that every Sunday morning
Oh,
from
okay.
10 to 12. So, and last week was funny, all these big high school girls are sitting there playing with footballs, and all these little kids with pads come over and they start stealing the footballs, running in between the girls. And the girls are like, Coach, what's going on here? I go, I don't know what's going on. They thought they were using the field,
Oh.
so we sent them over to where the uprights are, that new field, and they use that, so it's pretty funny. The girls are all like, what are these kids doing here? They got pads on. So,
We'll have to reach out to the organizations and let them know it's available.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they know better what they want there than we do.
right.
Because there's quite a few lights down there right now.
there's
Yeah.
3 diesel lights, yeah.
And they're all pretty much from one side, you're gonna have to
Right.
put some balance in there,
Yeah.
else you're creating all the shadows now the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, I like them, I just have to get a design in there. I mean, I don't know if you wanna sink telephone poles up and down that field.
No, you probably just put a tower on each side, I would
Yeah.
think.
And those, the utility field will most likely get used only in the fall and the spring.
Right.
There's no
Or
football
summer,
happening.
right.
It won't be
It's just
used in the
gonna be-
summer, there won't be
right.
soccer.
Right, so it's just gonna be baseball and softball down there in
Yeah.
the
The
summer,
grass
but
is
those
recovered
two.
too, so.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
ripped up now.
But it's critical they have the lights, cause that's when the days are shorter and.
Right.
and-
It's funny you say that, cause it really, what that grass was what I think they call erosion grass, just,
Yeah, just.
it was
Just
planted-
keep it there.
so it was never really given a ryegrass ball field seed, so that's not in there, it probably should be.
For that field.
Yeah, cause I mean, I don't think it needs to be loomed, cause it already has its 4 or 5 inches of loom, but it's gonna need to be,
Reseeded.
reseeded
Yeah.
when the sprinkle system's in, cause that's all crabgrass and crap now.
And we didn't address that, did we?
No, and I was thinking about it the other day when Michael sent me the specs and, you know, trying to do that at work at the same time, I should have written it down right when I thought about it. But
Well,
yeah,
It wasn't in our original proposal, so Pam, that'd be one of the revised proposals.
Okay,
I mean, it's to hydro seed, to seed that, I don't think they would hydro seed it, cause it's already existing stuff.
No, they
They'll probably slice seed it,
Slice seed, yeah, that's
so
true.
that'll be about $1,000, maybe 1,500, it's not gonna be a lot of money.
okay, but it's still money we don't possess at the moment.
Correct, and it wasn't on the proposal.
Okay. Just a heads up, so, nothing new business.
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion to, adjourn. We have nothing to vote on.
No.
We always vote on something.
I know, we don't have time. I'll second it.
Everyone's there.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Pam, thank you, Mike, thank you, Doug,
Thank you all.
thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.